Well, hi there. I'm getting asked a lot, how do I master my tracks? And I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do that. You have the easy way, which is really fast. You have the kind of medium way, which I use a lot. And then of course you can sit for hours and hours mastering a track. I will never do that. The point of your mastering is to get the volume up. And you can also do small changes in your mix. But the most important part is that you fix the song in a mix. It should be perfect, but it can get louder. So that's the deal with the mix. There are a lot of plugins that will one-click master your track. So you can just click a button and then the track will be mastered instantly. I will show you how to do it. It's not how I usually do it, but I can't do it if I just want this song out and away. That happens. So what I do then is that I use a plugin from Waves, which is called Maserati GRP Stereo, and you have this fantastic button right here, and I will play the song and just so that you can hear the difference. So you can hear that the volume goes up, and there's also a bit of treble in there. That's good. But you can do these changes here, and you can also change how much it will compress the track, because that's what you have in your mastering. You have a limiter, which will bring the volume up. You have a compressor that will keep the volume steady and make sure that it doesn't peak at any point. And then you have EQ. So you have everything here. And that's basically what this button does. If you do not want to one-click master, if you want to put a little effort into it, you can do that manually. You can add a limiter. You can add a compressor. And you can add a EQ. These are the ones that I use, but you can use whatever limiter, compressor, and EQ that you have in your system. So what I usually do is that I will put the compressor on the stereo output. Why? I honestly don't know. With a compressor, you do not want the stereo output to peak. So that's why I put it here, so that it will stay under the line. So this is the built-in compressor for Cubase. I don't usually use that. I will use the R compressor from Waves. Why? Because I like it. If I put the threshold around 3, that usually does it. So the EQ I put on the track itself, and I do that with the limiter as well. It doesn't really matter where you put them. Actually, it's just how I do it. You can just play around with it. With the limiter, you can increase the volume. So we can hear now. It gets louder, which is exactly what we want to do when mastering. That's basically the plugins you want to use for mastering. You can also use a stereo enhancer, which will kind of make the panning more broad in a way. And I usually use that too, unless the track is based on panning. This will kind of blur that and mash left and right into one and make it kind of bigger. So for instance, if you're making a epic track or a huge orchestra, this can be great. It will make it sound kind of bigger. Now it's mono. Everything's just bundled up in the middle. That's perfect. Now what you want to do is to find the loudest point in your mix. For that, you can basically just use the wave lines. And I can see that here is a quite loud point, on one side at least. Still no peaks. And you can see that the zero out, its loudest point now is here. So you can turn it up. You can make it even louder. And you can see that the compressor is working big time here. It's working to maintain the loudness of the song, and now it will not peak. Now the thing you want to look into is the EQ. There can be some small EQ changes in a mastering, but not too much, because remember that you're mixing the track itself, and all EQ changes will affect all the instruments and all the sounds and all the audio in the mix. So what I usually do is that I find kind of a frequency in the mix that I do not like. And you can see that you can make changes to the EQ so that you can kind of find those sounds or those frequencies that you do not like. I usually put a small drop in the upper mid section of the EQ, because in my tracks I kind of like this area. I do not want too much treble in my mixes. Maybe a drop around here. Here's just noise. On the faded line, you can see how it used to be, and then you have the yellow line, which is how the EQ is right now after the adjustments. This is not good. Like, the hell is this? Remove it. And I also almost always use a EQ drop in between 200 and 300 hertz, because there's a lot of mud here. This. And I mean, the difference is this small. A lot of people would probably even not notice the difference. This is more for me as a composer, for my kind of intentions with the track. And you can also have multiple EQs up so that you can cut out even more if you like. There's no right or wrong. You just do with the track what you want to do with your track. It's your track. So yeah, basically this video is to tell you what kind of inserts or plugins you want to use in your mastering. So you have your EQ, you have your limiter, compressor, and maybe a stereo enhancer. And you can also use the one-click mastering. Nobody will care. So hopefully this made you a little smarter, and you can go master your own tracks now. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.